Hey, what's up, you guys? We are back with just another amazing client testimonial with my client, Hannah. And Hannah has been with me for a couple of months now, probably closer to 6 or 7. And it's just been a real honor to be able to, coach her. But I thought it would just be really fun for you guys to hear what Hannah's takeaways were, and what her, deciding factors were on certain things and how far she's come. I think that'd be really cool. So Hannah, let's just dive right in. What back in the day, gosh, it has been a while, almost a year, I think.
Mhm.
What originally made you decide to work with me? What would you say it was? Why me? Why me as a coach?
Well, I've never really done coaching of any kind. And so I was super skeptical, of course. And when we had our first conversation, I was like, I don't know. You know what I mean? And then I was like, I was just in a place where I needed something, accountability. So I was just like, yep, let's do it.
So what was I find that when women finally will invest in themselves and do something typically sparks the situation. I know, mine is, when I finally sat sitting on the couch, I imagined myself as my mom being overweight and obese and all that. And that was kind of like my rock bottom moment. Did you have a rock bottom moment, or what was your moment that you were like, I've got to find some help. I've got to figure this out?
My mom passed away for,
Mm-hmm.
about a couple of months before we had our conversation, and I was very low. I was depressed. My anxiety was high. I was yelling at my kids and my husband, and it was a mess. I was so stressed.
Yeah. So that was your just truly a hot mess, and you're like, I can't go anywhere but up from here.
I got to do better for my family.
Yes. And what would you say your biggest issues were that we really worked on? At the very beginning, do you remember what your goals were? And I know they kind of morph over time, but do you remember what they were?
Lose weight, healthy. My biggest one was be healthier. I, of course, over time, it has really morphed into not necessarily losing weight, but becoming stronger and confident and loving who I am.
I love that. And when you say be healthier, explain that to me a little bit. Because so many people, when they first haven't worked with a coach, they think healthy, they think skinny, they think, so what is your opinion of what a healthy, confident woman looks like? What did you want to be more like?
More peaceful. My well-being, mindset, and less stress. Overall, it really kind of just full circle on my health.
I love that. And so when you mentioned, right, depression and lots of anxiety, and, just the weight factor was obviously there. But when you were in that spot 6-7 months ago, who else was really being affected by you not being a better version of you?
My household.
Yeah.
My kids, my husband, definitely, he's amazing for sure.
Yeah.
He completely supported me investing in a coach. So
yeah.
He was like,
how many months did it take for him to be like, oh yeah, you need to do this, babe?
None.
He was just like, I trust you. Do it. Do you?
Yeah.
Oh, if more husbands were more supportive like that. No, it's not Bash Your Husband Day. But yes, it is scary to go to your husband and say, hey, babe, I want to invest X amount in myself. Because they're still thinking, well, what's the result she's going to give you? They have no idea that the internal transformation that kind of happens. I know when even every business coach I hire, right, and that I mentioned to my husband, and I'm like, he's like, okay, babe, like I trust you. So if you trust them, then you do you. I'm like, okay, I like that. I like having a supportive partner by my side. So all right. So in the past, when you think weight loss, you think anxiety, depression, all of those things that you're kind of feeling, the lack of confidence in yourself, the lack of body love. What would you say that you tried in the past to try and fix that problem all on your own?
I've done a lot of reading and, information overload. It just isn't step by step.
Okay.
And changing takes step by step, small changes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Overwhelmed for sure on the information.
So just because there is so much stuff out there,
Mm-hmm.
you're feeling very overwhelmed and probably causing you more stress, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so Hannah, prior to working with me, I know you started with the Reclaim Your Best Self, and now you're in Grad Babes. You kind of graduated to that next level. But when you hear the word health coach or a coaching program, what first came to mind when I was like, "Oh, hey, I have a coaching program," and you were probably like, "What was your first opinion about it?"
Honestly, don't remember. I just knew that this had to help. Anything had to help.
Anything had to help. So you were definitely in this dark place of like
Yes.
anything. Okay. Okay.
I needed some professional help.
Nice. Nice. And how would you say, and again, you've been through Reclaim, which you guys, if you haven't figured that out, that's my first 10-week transformational mind body program. You kind of have to go through that in order even to get to Grad Babes. So how would you say your transition or your transformation has evolved like now? So we started with your first goals. You were very, depressed and filled with anxiety and just body shaming. You probably didn't have a lot of confidence in the gym. I don't even think you were working out in the gym at the time. I think it was just, home workouts, which was great too. But how would you say you've really had a transit? What is the transition that you've had so far?
Well, I have come to love myself. I really didn't love myself. And I think that's where the dark was. The negative self-talk was extreme. Sometimes it still creeps in there, but we just put it down.
Love it. And that's clearly something that you've learned through coaching. You've obviously learned to like recognize that the self-talker is negative. And then what has been your best tool that you said, just shut it down? Because not a lot of women are in that place. They can't just shut it down. You've learned how to kind of do that and then switch back into the positive. What is something that you do specifically to shut it down?
So I remember from one of our coaching sessions, we had talked about it. You said to stop, tell your voice, this is not true, and then move on.
Yeah.
And that's helped a lot. It's not perfect and it doesn't have to be. So
yes. I love that you're taking imperfect action. So many women are like, it's either has to be perfect, like this all or nothing mentality, right? Of like, it has to be perfect or I'm just a failure. And I call it the itty bitty shitty committee. It just keeps on getting bigger and bigger. And so you've just learned, and I love that, to kind of quiet her down, remind yourself that it's not your story, it's somebody else's, it's not true. And then you kind of hit the reset, right? Love that. Okay. So what would be your biggest advice if someone is trying to decide to work with a coach? What would be your biggest advice that you would give them? It's a kind of on the fence.
I would say to think about what you want in the future. And if it really feels impossible, it's not. Because we all kind of get in this place of getting stuck. And I really believe that having a coach helps you get unstuck.
Yes, it sure does. I mean, even I have a coach, right? I feel like when you're too close to the pain, it's hard to see the solutions. It's hard to see the options. So it's one of my favorite things is like, yeah, and we all have to do this. We all need it, whether it's our partners or our coaches or mentors. So, okay. So what would you say your biggest takeaway? And I know every week I make you guys like share your wins, share your ahas, but like, what would be your biggest takeaway about the Reclaim Your Best Life program?
I'm like, there's so many.
Your favorite part that you learned that you really use all the time.
Um, I have to say it's what I spoke about, taking my, talking to my negative self.
Okay.
I think adjusting my mindset has really improved my health.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The most.
Love that.
Mm-hmm.
And would you say that that is done in group calls, VIP calls?
Yeah.
It's kind of weaved in throughout. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, is there anything else that you would want to add or tell anyone?
I just know that you got to take that step,
Mm-hmm.
even if it's scary as hell. You got to do it.
Such great advice. Such great advice. Such hard, great advice. So true. I remember a time that you were like, I kind of love being uncomfortable now, like putting myself, because we really worked a lot on that confidence. And it's like, you like started to own, you're like, I am a boss babe. I am a badass boss babe. And I am confident. And your identity started to shift just enough to where you started to believe it. And then all of a sudden, once we start doing the things that we say, that's building the confidence. And yeah, you were just owning that. And you still do. You run your household a different way, I'm sure. You run your life, your workouts, like everything is probably with the new mindset shift of, yeah, I'm a boss and I can do whatever I put my mind to. And that's pretty awesome. Oh, well, thank you so much, Hannah. I really do appreciate you sharing, your story a little bit with us and for just being authentically you. It's gorgeous, and more women need to do that. So thank you so much.
You're welcome.